Hello viewers, Sniper Wolf 1001 here with another figure unboxing and review, and today we're going to take a look at the Metal Build Destiny Gundam Wings of Light option set. And finally got it. I'm really excited to take a look at this, see what it looks like on the Destiny. So in this video, I'm going to take a look at the Wings of Light, I'm going to slap it on the Destiny and give my impressions of it. I'm going to do a quick comparison between this model and the robot Damashii Destiny with its Wings of Light in, and then after that give my final impressions with it. But with no further ado, I'm going to jump right into this. So taking a look at the box, definitely I like the design on the front here. Again, just showing off the Wings of Light here. Of course on the side, you have Destiny Gundam Wings of Light there, kind of showing like the arm bleeding off on the side. But I really like the back here, because of course it shows it in its full glory here with the Destiny with its anti-ship sword out with the Wings of Light. I'm probably going to have mine in that pose once I'm done with this. But that's pretty much it for the box. But let's jump into this and then see what we got inside. So of course you're going to get your little instruction manual here, which shows you how to set up the Wings of Light. But then here we go, the Wings of Light out of the box. I'm going to open this up and take a look at each individual wing. So, starting with the taller wings, the ones out of the top wings, right here you can expect that same level of detail here that we had with the Strike Freedom, Metal Build Strike Freedom's Wings of Light here. You can see all of the little segments here with this nice red color. It kind of transitions a little bit into pink as it gets closer to the energy source right here. So you still have that nice color shift going from like a nice like bright red, almost kind of like pinkish or magenta, fading all the way down into a darker red as it goes out, and of course it has that little open section there, these opaque sections right in between each different like power energy surge here. And then of course loving the design of it too, the way that it has like these jagged edges from the bottom. You see you have this one really long piece of energy sticking out here, of course very jagged going all the way up and forming like a really nice sharp looking design here. The bottom Wing of Light here, of course it's going to be a lot smaller, but again still has that very aggressive, very sharp look here. Again, it gets really pointy at the bottom piece here, very pointy with that long piece of energy sticking out, and then of course all these little spikes coming out here, of course, and then it diffuses up to here as well too. A lot of sharp parts here, and of course it's going to have that same coloration where it has that kind of pinkish color from the end here, and then it's going to transition out into a red, and then kind of back into that kind of pinkish color until it's about like a little bit of a clear here, which is kind of nice. I like the way that this looks. Of course we have more of those opaques there in the center. And then the other thing that we're going to get, of course, is going to be a bunch of clear parts, which I guess is going to be used for displaying these. So I'm going to get these Wings of Light onto the model and then give my impressions of it. So I got my Destiny with the Wings of Light installed here, and as you can see, just as I bring the camera a little closer, you can see that this is a very nice looking display with those Wings of Light in. Of course, it's going to drastically increase the size that the Destiny has on you. Like, just looking at the top of the wing here, you can just see how long that energy piece sticks out from the actual main wing right here. There's a lot of space, a lot of verticality with this. Definitely, it's going to take up a little bit of extra room here, but it is a really nice looking display. And just taking a look at how this is actually set up, the setup is actually a bit simpler than the Strike Freedoms. You can see right in here, we have a clear piece. There's a little clear piece here which mounts into the actual wing. Same thing with right up in here. There's a clear piece there. And then the wing, it just slots into two slots into the wing there. Same thing with the bottom piece here. It slots in there. And then of course, in order to close up that gap so that things seem seamless, right here, this would be the dividing line between the two wings. These wings actually have slots in them. The bottom piece has slots that go up, Well, it has one slot that goes up and then two opening areas so that these two wings can collapse into each other and then close up so that they look like one complete unit. And then on top of that, when you look at the actual wing joint, right in here, yes, right in here. So there's two mounts, two wing joint mounts here, and then there's a little arm here, which these arms act as a bit of a prop for the actual wing here. So you can, because these wings are definitely going to add some extra weight to the wings. I haven't really seen the wings drop down or anything after installing the Wings of Light, but maybe that becomes an issue later on. So these little arms here act as a bit of a prop. And much like the Strike Freedom's Wings of Light, this actually comes with varying parts here. You can see that, like I showed before. So these are the different arms here. You can see that right here, I took both like the longest arms and put those into the Destiny right now. So pretty much the arms will be propped out as far as they go. So they won't be going any lower than this. I can of course adjust them higher, but they won't drop down any lower than this position right here. But then of course you can choose to vary it. You see there's a bit of a medium-sized arm here, and then there's like a small-sized arm. So you definitely have some free like variance to how you want to have the wings posed with the Wings of Light in. And then another feature is that there are these two pieces here, these little clear pieces, which these, I believe you mount them into the bottom wing so that just in case you only wanted one effect part, because you can actually remove the bottom effect part out and then just have the top effect part in, collapse the wings down closer, and then the two slots for the top Wings of Light will actually slot into the clear piece down there. So I guess if you really wanted to only display the top effect part, you can definitely do that with these additional parts. But there's definitely a lot of customization, like quite a bit of customization that you can do with the Wings of Light here and how you want to have them adjusted. But just taking a look at it, it looks really nice. Kind of interesting how they decided to make the Wings of Light sit behind most of the wing parts. You can see that at the with the wingtips here, they actually sit just in front of it. Down here, you can see that the Wings of Light, they sit kind of behind the thrusters of the wings. Even up here, they sit kind of behind it. I was actually more expecting these to kind of sit more flush with this, as opposed to just being behind it. But when you're looking at it from the front, you're not really going to notice that. You're going to have that illusion that this is definitely coming straight out of the thrusters, and it is a really nice looking display. I'm really loving this. I really don't regret purchasing this and then getting my Destiny set up like this. It's definitely a really nice looking option set for the Destiny here. So here, just a little comparison here between the Robot Damashii Destiny and the Metal Build Destiny with both their Wings of Light in. And of course you can see there is a very obvious difference here, of course in quality. Just as a simple comparison here, you can see that the scale difference here between the two. The Metal Build is of course a lot larger, but just comparing the two Wings of Light together, you can see that the Metal Build definitely has a lot more going on compared to the Robot Damashii. Of course, you know, the Metal Build here has all those different energy segments going through it. It has those opaques and then the open sections there, which looks really nice. It definitely draws your eyes to a lot more things in the Wings of Light for it. When you look at the Destinies here on the Robot Damashii, you can see that there's not really a whole lot of that detail going through it. The Destiny's wings are definitely a lot more translucent than anything else. It of course still has that sharp design going on the outside of the energy source. Granted, they're not as aggressive and sharp looking as the Metal Builds are, but it does definitely have that design there. One thing I found kind of interesting with the Robot Damashis is how right here, they actually, when it comes to mounting the wings in, they actually made it so that the three smaller wings actually fit inside the gaps. Like, they actually put gaps there for the Wings of Light so that those three wings can actually sit right in there. I thought that was actually kind of interesting. And that's one thing that I kind of like too, because like I mentioned before, like with the comparing the Robot Damashii with the Metal Build, I kind of like how on the Damashii, these effect parts actually sit perfectly inside the wing, and then of course the three smaller wings sit inside of the effect part, and of course it closes down at the bottom there too. So these wings definitely look a lot more flush, more like they're actually coming out of the wing, as opposed to this where, of course, if you look at it from the front, you definitely have that illusion, but then when you look at the side, you can definitely see that they're not quite coming from the thrusters. They're kind of just sitting behind the wing. So that's one thing that I kind of liked about the robot Damashii. That's kind of where my preferences kind of end, though, because there's a lot more detail going on with the metal build, of course. And of course, just looking at the two models themselves, you can see it's the exact same thing as the Strike Freedom comparison that I did before, where, you know, the Destiny Gundam is definitely more model. It's more mimicking the model from the actual show. So you can see that there's not really any decals. It's just the solid colors through and through. But this definitely went the extra mile with adding, not just noting the fact that this was a complete redesign. This is not really how the Destiny looks exactly from the show. But of course, I like the artistic liberties that they took with this. Definitely love the little markings, the faith insignia, and everything that goes on, especially on the wings too, with the Destiny Gundam and its markings there. Definitely really, really cool looking. Alright, so just as a bit of a quick comparison here, I got both my Metal Build Destiny and Metal Build Strike Freedom here together, with both of their option sets in, and you can see that with them both together, it is a very nice display. Again, they're very large figures, especially with these option sets mounted into them. You can see that the Strike Freedom's Wings of Light take up a lot of space. There's a lot of width, a lot of area that it does take over, as you can see here, especially with the Dragoons all spaced out around it. And of course, the Destiny, it's no slouch either. Its Wings of Light are definitely going to take up a lot of space here. Definitely, there's a lot more, I feel like there's a lot more verticality going with the Destiny compared to the Strike Freedom. But it is a lot of space that's going to be taking up, and it's nice seeing the clash between kind of red and blue here between these two suits. Looking really nice, of course. But that's pretty much the end of that comparison here. So, with my final thoughts, I'm just gonna say that there's not really too many issues that I can say about the Wings of Light here. I really loving how they look. They definitely complement the Destiny, and of course with this redesign, the aggressive energy design here definitely adds more to the Destiny's silhouette here, adding a lot more sharper and jagged edges to the way that this thing looks, making it look really aggressive. It looks nice. I do appreciate the fact that installation with the Wings of Light is pretty simple. The only real issue that I could say is I'm not a huge fan of how the wings sit behind the wing. I would have really preferred if they would have done something to make this sit a little bit closer to the thrusters, not just kind of floating behind it. But you know, that's not really like a game breaker for me. Like, I still really like how it looks. Pretty the only issue that I have with this, though. Apart from that, I like the little props that we have here, so that you can pretty much ensure that they're gonna stay in a certain position. There's a lot of customization and variants that you can do with this, which I definitely do appreciate. But with all that said, I will say that I feel that the price point for the Wings of Light is, again, just like the Metal Build Destiny and the Strike Freedom, is a little steep. I think this is running around $300. You can probably get it for a little over $200, but it is a little pricey. But, you know, with all that said, like, I'm pretty satisfied with this. I'm pretty, like, I really love the fact that I have this, and of course I'm going to put this right next to my Strike Freedom in my room, and you know, it's going to be a really cool looking display. But with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys found it informative, and of course there's going to be a lot more figure unboxings and reviews coming in the future, so I hope you guys look forward to that. But with the conclusion of this video, I hope you guys have a nice day or a nice night depending on where you are, and I'll see you all later.